Thank you for coming back from our replay reviews. My name is Leah.
And my name is Kathy.
We are two friends who are here to replay, review, and analyze your favorite video games. And since Kathy has never seen the games before, it helps me view them through her fresh eyes, almost like I'm discovering them again for the first time.
We hope it'll be a similar experience for you. Happy New Year!
We made it.
It's our season wrap-up. Yes, we made it.
Finally here. And there's no out-of-context summary for this episode. So welcome, I guess, to the Season 3 wrap-up episode. We are, you could probably tell, beyond excited to finish this season.
Mm-hmm.
Our first segment is favorite moment from each game. So, of course, Sleeping Dogs is up first.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say, Kathy?
Is it bad that it's my favorite scene is probably Jackie's death? It's not. It's not
said
about
the same
that.
thing.
Okay. I feel a lot less worse now. I I think it's because it gave the game some like emotions to it that it normally. I feel like the game kind of falls flat. Is pretty stoic. So the fact that we bonded with this character, we like this character, and then he dies, it just makes everything more memorable, more emotional. Finally, he's the first character that has a good character arc in his own storyline.
Yeah, I picked the same moment.
Okay.
So I said I love Jackie's character, and as morbid as it sounds, his death is my favorite part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge turning point for Wei in terms of him realizing what he's like become, what he's become a part of, how deep he is in it. And despite the pressure and danger from both sides of Wei's life, Jackie was his constant. And the fact that he's killed to get to Wei is a reminder to Wei that his situation is not great. This moment is sort of the explosion that just pushes Wei's character through the rest of the game. I don't think we would have seen as intense of a Wei if this didn't happen. Less seriously though, the butt phone.
Oh,
I loved the butt phone.
Moving on. Detroit Become Human. What was your favorite moment?
You should maybe go first because mine is long.
Okay. Mine's pretty short for me, and I don't think this was in her playthrough, but more of the other alternative options. I really like seeing Connor and Hank survive, and them reuniting at the food truck has this very peaceful, and it gives you hope that them partnering can bring something better to the city, whether it's Detroit or somewhere else. And it also sets them up for an opportunity to have a spin-off game. So I just felt it was very serene, and it felt very calming and soothing after everything we see, and with our frustrations with everything else that's happening. This was my favorite scene.
That actually ties into mine pretty well because I feel like from what we've seen, that's really the only perfect moment.
Yeah.
And you know, we were really harsh with this game, and I've kind of regretted it at times because I do enjoy this game a lot. Despite regretting it, as I worked on this question, I honestly struggled to find a moment that didn't include me saying, I like this moment, but and I just think David Cage had no calm at all while working on this game, and he had to ruin just every perfect moment by going overboard. I worked on this question for a long time. I did some intense thinking, and I thought I found a moment that didn't have a but attached to it, for lack of a better word. I went back and forth. So the moment is when Hank and Connor kind of go rogue in the police station to continue locating Jericho against orders. I love Connor going full mission-focused, terrifying detective android, but this is where I initially had the feeling of, but I then thought it through and decided it doesn't actually have a but. This is going to be a confusing conversation. So the but is gone at this point, right? It's back to being a perfect moment. Then I have the question, why is Connor so dead set on finding Jericho? Our theory was that he's just scared of getting sent back to Cyberlife for failing. So it makes sense, right? And then here's where the but comes back. Because we see him go rogue anyway when he joins the Deviants. This is where, with his level of software instability that he had in our playthrough, he should have stayed neutral instead of flipping. This perfect Hank and Connor moment is made imperfect by taking it a step too far. Connor should have remained neutral, Hank should have remained neutral. And then it would have been my favorite moment. But I feel like it just pushes it a little too far. And it couldn't find a moment that didn't do that.
I agree. I think you put it in words really nicely because I felt like everything was so extreme where it was either everything or nothing. Especially when it comes to Marcus scenes, it was like all in or nothing. Normal day-to-day interactions aren't like that, and I think that's what made me really irritated with Kara and Alice.
Yeah. The game is too extreme and it's too black and white when I think in reality the answers would lie somewhere in the middle in the gray area, which we never have the option to explore.
I have some struggles with choosing my favorite moment in Until Dawn, so I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. Well, I love Boogie Oogie Oogie Oogie. Yeah. Great. I love the analyst portions. Great. And I don't know if this really counts, but I love the start of the game. When all the friends arrive at the cabin, it kind of feels cozy and fun, but then you know that there's going to be something's going down. And so you have that sort of mysterious feeling just slowly building because you know the fun weekend is not going to go as planned.
I can see that. For me, I would say it's the reveal of Josh's plan where he's like, this is how do you feel? This is how my sisters felt. I wish he would have made them feel worse to really demonstrate his revenge plan because it's really a weak plan in some ways. I know it's extreme, but I felt like, okay, it could have been better, so that's my butt.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I think that's probably my favorite scene in the game.
I like that moment too because it's like halfway through the game. So you're confused, like, well, the game can't be over. Something else must be going on. And it kind of gives you that feeling of, I thought I knew what was happening, and maybe in some way I do, but I also don't. Because there has to be more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing at my notes for Yakuza Kiwami too.
Okay.
Here's what I said. The end credits.
Oh.
No, not actually. But
I'd be so mad at you if you did that.
I think it would have to be Daigo taking charge. I hate punk Daigo.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing him realize that he has been a punk and it's time for him to quit it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels great to see him finally just not being a child anymore at 30. As we discovered.
I was actually going to say that, but I think the following scene kind of drove me nuts where he ends up kind of going back and they didn't follow through with that potential storyline. That was probably my second favorite. My first favorite has to be Ryuji killing Takashima with a headshot. That's the highlight where that's how you actually take care of someone and kill someone. Because right before that scene, we see Terada and he's still alive. And it just, again, as the players, I'm wondering, like, why are we always getting these? They died, but they didn't really die. So in this case, when Ryuji actually does a headshot and kills him, we know for sure he's dead and he's not going to show up.
Last game.
The inpatient.
Yes. You finally learned.
Yes.
In general, I really enjoyed the depth that this game adds to the Until Dawn story. Seeing Bragg, the reporter, Victor, and all the old clues from Until Dawn back when they occurred is pretty fascinating. In terms of a favorite moment, though, I would have to say the Victor flashbacks, just because they reveal who you are and help piece everything together. However, I also like not knowing what the heck's going on and struggling to figure it out earlier in the game, all the nightmare segments. We were confused and we were theorizing a lot, and I feel like this is the first game since, I don't know, Outlast 2 that kind of made us have those questions, and I missed it.
I personally don't like being that confused. So my favorite scene actually was the elevator part where there's so much happening. You're safe, but it's also not safe. Wendigos and the police come at you, but you're still protected. And then the sheer panic of trying to go up, but you kind of went down. And then that's the first time I think we see Father Mosley lose his cool.
I do like that scene. It's a very unique scene. The story's happening around you based on which button you press. And there's a lot of panic pressing.
Overall, what was your favorite game of the season?
Okay, technically speaking, The best game I would say is Sleeping Dogs. It has sensible gameplay mechanics except for maybe the driving. A well thought out story, satisfying ending. There's really not much to complain about when it comes to this game. So technically, I would have to say Sleeping Dogs. But personally, my favorite has to be Until Dawn. Partially because of the great time I had playing it for the first time with my brother and our friends. But also because it was and still is honestly a pretty unique game. There are other, decision-based, like Telltale games, but none of them do it as good, in my opinion. Even though the first time you play this game, it's far better than the replays, it still somehow manages to keep you coming back, whether you replay it on your own or you watch someone else play it to see how they react to what they pick. It has a very unique feel to it, and it really sticks with you in terms of it just being so different from anything else.
I'm very similar to you, where I thought it was going to be Sleeping Dogs for the same reason. I love the mix of Hong Kong and speaking Cantonese in that game. I also really appreciate just the straightforward, it's not too confusing. And I do like Jackie. I think Wei and Jackie's character, Wei's character especially, because it's the first time I've seen someone making decisions that make sense and I'm not screaming at them.
Yeah.
So I like it. But for me, and I think I'm biased because we've played 3 games of the Yakuza series, and that just gives it that extra depth to the game. So for me, it's Kiwami 2. Minus Kiryu being so stupid in this game and being so frustrated, Ryuji was still able to redeem that, to net that out and go above and beyond. I just love his character so much. He's enough to make me forget how pissed I was with Kiryu, and ultimately that just makes me like this game more. And the balance between getting 2 storylines in one game where they also cross paths, feel like it leaves such a really refreshing take to how storylines can blend in that way.
If there's one thing this series can do right, it's making a character that you just immediately fall in love with. And you'll ignore all of the shortcomings with one of these games just because of how enjoying the characters are. Next segment. All right. We're doing IMDb guesses again. So I'm going to guess the ratings on IMDb, and you're going to reveal what they actually are. Sleeping Dogs is up first. I am guessing a solid 8.7.
Woof. I have it up. Let me share my screen. 8.3. So close.
That's pretty close. I'm glad people gave it good ratings, though, because, like we said,
it's a good
it has
game.
the least problems, yeah. Detroit Become Human. This one was hard for me because I feel like it really depends on your playthrough. And I think a lot of people love this game, as I do, but I also think it's highly problematic. So I am going to guess 6.4.
9.2. Wow, I didn't think it was that good.
It doesn't deserve that.
No.
It doesn't deserve to be higher than Sleeping Dogs.
I bet David Cage paid a bunch of people to make it rank high. Sorry, David.
Okay, moving on. Until Dawn. I think it's a huge cult classic. Sure, it has issues because it's not really a game. After Detroit Become Human being rated so high, I'm kind of nervous. But I feel like there's more people that dislike Until Dawn, so I gave it a 7.7.
Ooh, close. 8.7.
Hey.
Pretty good.
Good. I'm glad that it's higher than I thought. I was concerned about that one.
Yeah.
I have no issues with that one. Yakuza Kiwami 2. I think that fans of the franchise dislike this game more than the majority of the other games.
Okay.
I gave it a 5.3.
5.3.
That's my guess.
Ooh, it's actually higher. 8.6.
I thought people hated this more.
Yeah. Maybe they just like Ryuji.
Last one is The Inpatient. And I feel like a lot of people came into this game expecting another Until Dawn and were disappointed. So you might be shocked with my guess, which is 5.
6.2. Not too bad. You're not too far off.
For how fresh VR was, I think it deserves a higher rating.
That's true. I think we're forgetting to factor in the timing of when it was released and how soon VR was a thing. Because if you're comparing it now, I feel like you can't compare current VR games with the technology back then.
All in all, I'm glad people enjoy these games, but they probably hated our season because we talk shit about a lot of them.
Especially Detroit Become Human.
Okay, let's put that behind us. Should we move on to KFC?
Mm-hmm.
Extra Crispy KFC, which is the
Mm-hmm.
favorite character out of all the KFCs this season. So from Sleeping Dogs, you chose Jackie. From Detroit, you chose Luther. Until Dawn was Wolfie. Yakuza Kiwami 2, Ryuji, no surprise. And the inpatient was Father Mosley. Who's it gonna be?
I think it's safe to say is Ryuji. He was so good that it redeemed all the stupidity that we see from Date and Kiryu. He's so competent, loyal, honorable, and those are just the first three words that pop up. There's so much more. And I like how he doesn't use dirty tricks. Okay, quick pause though. I want to know who. We didn't quite go through all your LFCs throughout the games, but in general, who do you think your extra crispy LFC would be?
Ryuji is a good option for many of the reasons we've discussed across many episodes. But I think I would have to say Connor. Just because he's a great character. I think they picked the exact right voice actor for him. This is one of maybe 3 or 4 games that just makes you want more of a character and makes you hope for like a spin-off where it's just this character. I can't ignore that. So it has to be Connor for me.
Moving on. Staleless Biscuit.
Did you do a stale biscuit for the inpatient?
I did. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but in my notes I said Suzanne.
Ha! I don't think you did.
I don't think I did.
Excellent choice.
Yes, I have to go back to my notes, but I just think that she was just so rude. She liked the wrong person. I think she had something going on with Briggs, and then she was so eager to kill us off. So, yeah, Staleless Biscuit.
I would agree with that.
So for Sleeping Dogs, I had Sunny Woe. For Detroit Become Human, I had Alice. Until Dawn, I had Ashley. Yakuza Kiwami 2, I had Date. And then the Impatient, Suzanne. Do you want to take a stab at who?
I'm just laughing at Alice. Knock them down? We got it in one more time. Okay. Staleless Biscuit. See, it's not necessarily your most hated. It's just the most bleh.
Or the most one I'm frustrated, annoying.
You really seemed to have an issue with Date. So I'm gonna pick Date.
Yes. I was like close between Ashley and Date, but funny enough, it's because one isn't doing any action and then one's doing too much but causing too much issues.
Yeah.
And always in the way, and that's Date. And so I think it's because I've known him longer and I've had more issues with him. So he really irritated me, as you could tell. So yeah.
You were not having it with Date.
Yeah. He could get lost.
Oh my gosh. Well, is there anyone else? I think in the overarching series-long trash category currently resides Madison and North. Is there anyone else that you would add to the trash category?
Kazama? But he's not in this season. I mean, he has a quick glimpse in this one, but it's not like he died in here, so I didn't really include him.
Yeah, well, and he somehow is still, like, screwing things up even after he's dead.
Yeah.
Which is a talent.
Yeah.
So I think that's fair. We can throw him in the trash if you want.
Yeah, Date's about to go into the trash. If he pisses me off one more time, he's going into the trash.
He's right on the edge. Should we do an ultimate mother and ultimate mother respecter? Who is your ultimate mother? I wonder if we picked the same person.
Is it cheating if I drag Kazama's name back in here again?
No.
Okay.
I mean, he was in the game, so.
Yeah. I know he didn't die in this game, but ultimately for me, his name keeps coming back up. He's still having lasting impact to this game, and not for good. So for me, it's Kazama. But if it had to be someone who actually died during the season, I think it's Todd. He's just so disrespectful. He's a lazy POS. So yeah, it's Todd for me.
Todd is a good one. I might agree with you, but I also don't want to let Dog Eyes get away with it.
Oh,
Dog Eyes was a piece of
yeah.
poop.
Yeah,
He
he's a
was
turd.
nasty. I want to pick Sunnywell, but I don't think he died. So I
No, I
don't
don't
think
think he
he's a
did.
contender. But I think he is the biggest piece of trash that we've seen.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good one. Dog Eyes. I forgot about him.
Yeah. Keep dragging Mimi into
Yeah.
it. Get out of here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Mother Respecter.
Ryuji.
I disagree with you on this one. I think there's one person
Wait,
who is...
let me think. Who else died? I'm trying to go through the list of who else died. Jackie, I guess? No?
It's not who I picked. He's not completely innocent.
That's true. Who? Luther?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Luther is the ultimate Mother Respecter for me.
Mm-hmm.
He risks his life multiple times to help Alice and Kara. I mean, that's the only time we ever saw him be violent was out of protection. He's a good boy.
Can I take back my answer? Because I agree with you.
Sure.
I take that back. I think I forget that sometimes Ryuji asked to die. Like, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
he went in knowing that there's a 50-50 chance he wasn't going to make it out alive, and he just let Sayama see him die and choose to forgo that, while Luther died being a hero.
That's true. We really gave Kiryu a hard time for that, but Ryuji was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So
I was too blinded by how much I liked his character.
as amazing of a character as he is, he wasn't perfect. Luther was
Mm-hmm.
damn near
Perfect.
perfect. Are you ready?
Okay.
For the ultimate Kentucky Scorcher? I think this is the first year we're doing it a little bit different. So, I had you, as you picked for each game, your Kentucky Scorcher, I had you
Mhm.
add that person to a new PowerPoint slide.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the final four for the ultimate Kentucky Scorcher. Did you move these over at the start of the season before we played the games?
I think so. I think
Okay.
shortly after I picked my blind KS, I moved them over, and then I quickly picked again to keep it at the blind KS level.
Got it. So you don't know who they are yet when you made these notes.
Yeah.
In my PowerPoint, we have Wei, Gavin, Chris, and David. We didn't do Kiwami 2, as a reminder. Which one of the four would you pick?
Way.
Okay. That would be my guess, too, and my hope.
I'm like
I really
sweating
hope
right
that
now.
you didn't pick Gavin.
I hope I didn't either.
But let's reveal. You started out by saying, are you getting hot?
Yeah.
Are you nervous? Okay.
Yeah, but we also have the temperature up because of my niece.
You're struggling over there. Okay, you said, I'm actually very curious who you think I would pick. Wei. I also want to know who you would pick out of these four. Wei. And then you said, I can tell you it's not number 4. That's David. With the lighting making him look as pale as Edward Cullen. Again, you're throwing names at me that I don't know. Number 3 is Gavin. Looks like a dude named Tom.
From Tom Clancy.
Number 2 is Chris. You said, looks like a dude with a name beginning with J or D. I don't know what's with you on giving these people names, but that's what you did. And number 1 is Wei. Looks like an Asian action movie star, but got pigeonholed in action movies. By process of elimination. I think my blind ultimate Kentucky Scorcher is number 1. Because he gives me young Andy Lau vibes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll Google Andy Lau later, you said.
Yeah. I'm throwing all these celebrity names at you, knowing that you don't care about these people.
Hey, good job.
Yay.
So glad you didn't pick Gavin again.
I know, right? I was stressing.
Anything you want to say before we get into closing this out?
I think this was a really great season. I do enjoy the mix of the games. It's nice that we didn't have Outlast in this game because that was really stressful.
I really miss Outlast a lot. But I agree. I liked this season. We were more critical, which I don't know if the listeners like or not, but I did enjoy it. And I'm really excited for next season. I'm really excited for the lineup we have. I think it will be different. I know I'm not going to have a lot of bad things to say about most of these games.
I think this season too, we were on a roll with just a lot of characters that pissed us off. So yeah, so I'm curious what this next episode or next season will be, and it's going to be our first season where we don't have a Yakuza game. Overall, I appreciate everyone who listens. I know it's a very one-way conversation, and that's fine. You don't need to comment, but we recognize there's a pattern of a group of you guys who have followed us from the start, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to continue listening. And if you're feeling it, maybe you want to reach out to us, and that's great.
Yeah. We didn't do any Reddit posts this year. We didn't do a whole lot of social media other than the episode announcements, so that's an area we aim to improve at, and hopefully through the course of the off season, we'll get there.
The whole point of this is just two great friends talking about games that we enjoyed. Really a safe place to hate on games or to praise games. So that's
we
really
can say whatever
purpose.
The hell we want here.
Yes. And hopefully you feel like you're part of the friend group with us.
But if you disagree, let us know. I would love to get in a constructive argument with people.
And you won't hurt our feelings.
Maybe you will, but we won't. We won't admit it. We made it through to the other side. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's.
Hopefully things are on the up and up for everybody.
Hope great things are going to come to everyone, and we will see you later in the year. With that, one last time for Season 3, Audacity on 1, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to send in any questions, comments, or game suggestions. You can find all our contact info on our website, replayreviewspod.com, or contact us directly through our site.
Did we completely miss something? Are we way off the mark? Or you just want us to take a deeper look at anything from the game? We'll tackle any topics you all want to hear in our season wrap-up episode.
We also have a Reddit where we discuss anything we're curious about. Go take a look and let us know what you're thinking. Our theme music is Condemned by Eggy Toast. They'll play you out, and we'll be back next week.